Hi, Cam from Seatskins here to show you how to fit one of our newest products. We've got VF headrest trims. Now these can really turn your pretty bland VF seats into something that looks a whole lot more special. So we've got a Holden Lion round logo version and the HSV version. So depending on what you got. We also have two choices of side stitching colour, because some of the VF series seats have silver stitching and some have a dark red. These two examples here are dark red, but on our website on the product you can select via the drop down menu either silver side stitching or red side stitching, and then you can go and choose the logo colour as well. There's 13 colours to choose from. Now all VF series seats have the same headrest. Also, for your American friends, the Chevrolet SS seats have this same headrest shape. And so these covers will fit any VF. So I'm going to show you now how to change these over. This is the standard headrest without a logo and with silver side stitching. We're going to use this as the donor and show you how to fit one of these headrest trims up. Headrest trims, headrest covers, you know, they're called a couple of different things, but these are not a slip over the top seat cover or a headrest cover. They are a replacement for this cover. Now, it probably could fit over the top, but it's really not that difficult. I'm going to show you how to do this properly. So for this, we're going to want something like a medium-ish size flat blade screwdriver. Probably don't need any scissors. Let's have a look. So if we get in here, I'll show that there. If we get in with this tool, we can sort of get our fingers in and twist and turn and pull this part out. So I'll show that here. I'm pulling this out of there. Right, now we can then take this part out of there, this from out of there, this from out of there. And the great thing about these headrests is that the middle part comes out separately and is not part of the foam, right? So tiny bit of wrestling with it to get that to do that, but there is basically a plastic inner part that is part of the stalks. Not sure why that's been so difficult. So that's great, and I'll tell you why. Because when we go to put the new cover on, we don't actually put the new cover on. We put the foam and squish it into the new cover. All right, so let's take this old trim off. Now look, if you're really having trouble with it, you could cut this old trim up a side here or something in order to get it off easier, but you might want to sell it, or you might want to hold on to the original trims. And so it's pretty easy to just squish the actual foam. Make sure you don't rip and tear the foam, but squish the actual foam and remove it from inside the headrest trim. So that one is going in the bin. 2 points. Now, one thing I want to show you with these VF headrests is inside there is a piece that looks like this. It's a little polystyrene bit that that sits in there to harden up a certain area. Now, I've put a little bit of double-sided tape on it. You could do the same. The main thing is you want that to stay in place, so that otherwise you'll end up with a bit of a bulge here and it won't look so great. So with my double-sided tape attached there, but you don't have to do that. You just have to make sure it looks good at the end. If you've got a bulge, that means it's not sitting right. So do it once, do it properly, that sort of thing, right? So then, you know, that'll go in and it'll sit right against this. Now we're going to fit this HSV one today. Isn't it nice? Yeah. So what we want to do is just push these parts aside and get ready. And then we want to squish the foam over on itself and grab it like that, something like that. And I like to do fold the back part, because that way the polystyrene part is sitting there and we're not squishing it out of place. All right. So then we're going to go and put it in here. I'm trying to show this camera. Now you could put a little silicone spray or something like that on this, but it's really not necessary. This is quite an easy headrest to trim to fit. Now, clearly, you know, that still needs a bit of work, right? So we've got to now play with it and work with it. See, this is not very full, so I'll push this into that corner. I'll check how it's sort of looking. Oh, it's looking, you know, sort of this way a bit. I'll show you here. So this is sort of, these two seams are sort of this way a bit. So that means the cover needs to go that way, or the foam needs to go that way. So we'll keep playing around with it, try and move the cover around on the foam. Which can be a little tricky without the structure part of it inside. And so, you know, we'll still do more final tweaks with that inside as well. Now I'm checking again that the polystyrene bit is in place where it should be. And it is. And so now we're ready to put this part back in. So we're going to make sure we put it in the right way. Now the right way is the back, where the logo isn't obviously, is where the prongs are. I mean, these prongs move, but that's the way you want this. Or if I can show this camera, it goes this way. Or this way. Okay. Checking again, that polystyrene bit is in the right place. It is. Now we're pushing that in. Now we've just got to make sure that we're also not tearing any of the foam and sort of pushing the foam aside and bringing the foam around the bottom here and checking that the inner part really goes down and into its place. You also need to get these foam bits from the sides and really bring them up. And the other one. Now we're pretty good. Okay, so we've got it like this and it's looking pretty sweet, but we have to clip up the bottom. So the bottom has what we call a J retainer, and it's in the shape of a J. And then the other part is what we call an arrow retainer. So it clicks into the J part. Now the J part, at first glance, might look like, that's weird, how am I going to make that work? But you need to fold it over and over on itself. All right, so it's going to go like that, and then the arrow part is going to click in that way. Now you could, if you like, if you need to, spread open that J retainer just a little bit to help you click the other part in. But first what we're going to do is we're going to push the foam aside just a little and get these parts that go around the headrest headrest posts sitting right. They sort of go around the posts and we make them look nice and neat. Pull this bit out of the way, get the plastics of these parts sitting down and in nicely. Get that out of the way until we get to about this point. Okay, so now we've got to do the fun part. So now I would push these side bits in next, these side J retainers. Get them in and under. Don't have to click them in yet. It's mainly about the center one and getting it clicked in. So we want to get this angled in such a way that it's sort of going straight down. All right. Then we can push it down into that J channel and click it in. All right. So we're close. We're nearly there. But I'm noticing that this is a little bit far this way. So I just want to play around with that and get that right. And then we've got to get these clipped in as well. And then we're good. Click that one in. Pushing over there. Now, we just want to do a little finessing, but that is looking awesome already, as you can see. So now it's just about turning the seams a little bit, playing around so that it looks nice. I like to turn the seam at the front that way so that you're not looking into the stitches. There we go, guys. All fitted and done. If you've got any questions, you can give our guys on our website a call or message through our chat app at the bottom of the website. Get your trim on, guys. This can really turn your VF seats into something special.